Good morning. Welcome to Escoffier Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some crab cakes. I'm sure you guys been to restaurants and you see this in the menu, but I mean, it's really easy to make. You will see right now that you can do this at home. You know, it might be better than ones you buy at the restaurant. Could be, I'm sure you guys can. Well, we're going to start, with crab meat. There's different grades of crab meat. If you go just to the store to buy crab meat, you're going to see jumbo lump, lump crab meat, back fin, claw meat, special. All these are crab meats, but again, they're like different grades. And what I got today, it's a lump crab meat, which is it's a muscle that attaches the legs to the body of the crab. And this has got like a nice big pieces. And you're gonna see some are a little even bigger than this. And there's some that have like a smaller like flakes. The claw meat from the claws is a little brownish, and they all have different price points too. So, but if you want to get something really nice, you can get something like this. But this is kind of expensive. I paid like $19 a pound, but it goes a long way. And also there's even a bigger grade one. This is like jumbo lump. It's bigger chunks of crab meat. And this is already pasteurized, so which means this is safe to eat the way it is out of the can if you want to put it on top of the salad. But today I'm gonna be making some crab cakes, and also you want to drain some of the liquid inside this. If you like press down, I'm gonna try to show this. I don't know. The camera up here. You see there's some liquid that comes out of here. You want to kind of drain some of this, so I'm going to go ahead and drain some of the liquid from the crab meat. That way the crab cakes are not too soggy. You want to kind of have them nice and dry because you add in some more wet ingredients to the crab cakes as well. So I got this crab drained. And here we go. It's nice and big chunks of meat. We're going to start by putting some of my ingredients together. I'm using some celery here, some real fine diced celery. Also, I'm gonna chop some parsley here, a couple leaves of parsley. And you can make this ahead of time and put them in the refrigerator. You should leave them in there for about half an hour. Today I won't be able to do that. I'm gonna, kind of cook them right away. But you should, leave them in there for half an hour so they all kind of come together and they don't break apart when you cook them. You want to chop this really nice. I'm using some Italian parsley. You guys can use a curly parsley as well. And you can freeze these crab cakes if you want to make them ahead of time. If you got too many, you can wrap them real nice and freeze them, and then use them later. But you don't want to cook them and freeze them. I don't recommend doing that. You can freeze them when they're raw. And you're gonna see parsley in there. Nice and fine chop. Okay. Now I got some wet ingredients here. I got some mayonnaise, about 2.5 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Okay. I got some Dijon mustard. Okay. Also got some Worcestershire sauce here. I'm gonna put a couple drops of some hot sauce here. You can use any kind of hot sauce. Tabasco. I'm using this Cholula hot sauce I found in the pantry. A couple drops. You don't want to make them too spicy. And now we're gonna an egg. This is gonna help bind together. The crab cake's really good. Make sure there's no shells in there. Dump the egg in there. I got some Old Bay seasoning spice here. About 1 teaspoon. Some little salt and some white pepper. We're gonna mix all together. I believe we have a question over here, one of our students. Go ahead.
If you freeze the crab cake mixture, do you freeze it whole or in patties? So all you need to do is thaw them out.
Okay. The question was, if you were to freeze a crab cake mixture, would you do it in patties or like bulk? I would recommend making the crab cakes patties first. That way, when you take them out, it's easy to cook. They would thaw out much quicker. So yeah, make the crab cake patties, and then you can freeze them. Put some parchment paper in between so they don't stick together. That would be the best way to do them. I got some panko breadcrumbs here. You see, I'm not using a lot of breadcrumbs, because sometimes you go to restaurants and all you get is like a lot of breadcrumbs. And like I said, they use different, crab meats. Like I was saying before, the claw meats, like a little brownish. And you can tell Sometimes you like little, like stringy. That means that it mix them too much. You don't want to mix them too much once you combine the crab meat with the mixture over here, because otherwise you're gonna break them up. You want to kind of have big chunks of crab meat, and also you want to kind of. I'm gonna dump it in here because I'm gonna show you. You guys want to kind of feel this. Sometimes there's like little shells in the meat, and you want to kind of look for those. And most of the time it's really nice and clean, but still you want to kind of feel that there's no shells. And this is very simple to make, as you can see. So we want to kind of soak the breadcrumbs because they're pretty dry. You want them to kind of soften up, and they will. When you make it. And you're gonna, put it in the refrigerator for about half an hour. It's gonna do that. And you could leave them there overnight. So we're gonna kind of put the crab, and as you can see, the bottom one's not as big chunks. I only put the big ones on top. So, but again, it's a really nice crab. See this? You can make a bunch of crab cakes, with this 1 pound of crab meat. So, especially at home, if you want to make them really nice. You can do them as an appetizer. You can, make a complete meal out of them. Add a starch, a vegetable. Today I'm going to be making a nice little salad, to go with the crab cakes. Wash my hands real quick. Now that we have the crab meat here, you want to fold it in, very gently. You don't want to go too fast because you don't want to break up the meat. You want to kind of have nice, big chunks. You can see you want to go kind of slow. It's going to be nice and moist. You want to combine really well so that it's combined completely. And you should get about 6 crab cakes out of this mixture. If not, you can make them in a little smaller and probably get more, but especially if you were like in a restaurant setting, you want to weight each one of them. I'm not going to do that right now, but because especially when you're like going to sell them for profit, you want to make sure that everyone weighs the same, and because you have to keep your food costs, especially when something like this that's very pricey to buy. You make sure that you do that, okay? You don't want to just start grabbing mixture and make form the crab cakes. You want to portion every one of them, like that way your food costs for each dish that you're making. Okay, now we have our mixture down here. As you can see, it's nice and moist. Now at this point, you can start forming the little patties, the crab cakes. So I'm gonna bring my plate over here. If you want to keep them in the cooler, usually you would put like some kind of parchment paper. I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm gonna cook them right away. So I'm just gonna make them, grab them, kind of. And as you see, they kind of break up. So that's the reason why you should leave them in the refrigerator for about half an hour before you start cooking them. So in the meantime, I'm gonna be making the salad I was talking about to serve with the crab cakes. That way they kind of have a little time to bind together. As you can see, I believe we have another question over here. What is the typical weight for a crab cake? Well, you want to do about, let's see, it depends on which meat you're using and how much you're going to charge. I would say about 1.5 ounces for each one for an appetizer, and you want to put 2 for an order. So that's really about 1.5 ounces, no more than 2 ounces, because 4 ounces and it's big enough. Anybody else out there? As you can see, you can form these things, and they're really flaky, And you can see the big chunks of crab meat in there. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna put this aside for right now. So I'm gonna make a nice little salad to go along with the crab cakes. I want to let them rest. Normally, like I said before, you want to put them in the cooler for about half an hour after you make the patties. But at this point, I want to go ahead and chop some vegetables I got here to make a nice refreshing salad to go along with it. You don't have to, but it's kind of nice to have something like a little different texture. And I got here some. I'm gonna do some cucumbers. Okay. I don't want the seeds. I'm just gonna, cut around the seeds. If you use seedless cucumbers, you don't have to do that because there's no seeds. So you just want to, cut everything up. Little julienne strips here. And this is gonna be a nice, refreshing, crunchy salad, for the crab cakes. I also made a little sauce. It's a whole grain mustard sauce to go along with my crab cakes. But you could do whatever you want. There's so many different sauces that goes along with it. Or you can just squeeze some lemon juice on top of them, and that's it. You don't have to get too fancy. See, it's gonna kind of chop it up a little more. That way I can mold it up really nice. And this makes a wonderful appetizer. All of you that like seafood, this is a great dish. I got some fresh fennel here. It's nice and licorice taste, crispy. It's nice and crunchy. See there? And then a few minutes we're gonna cook a crab cake. So I'm using some vegetable oil. You can use some clarified butter if you want, but I'm using some oil right now. You can use, like I said, clarified butter, and they only take a few minutes to cook because, like I said, the crab meat is already pasteurized. It's safe to eat the way it is, but you want to cook, have raw egg in there, so you want to cook that. I got some radishes here. Want to give some nice color to my salad, like I always keep telling you guys, nice and colorful is better. This could be a nice, refreshing appetizer in a hot summer day. Let's see. And I'm gonna have the recipe, for the sauce too, and also for the crab cakes that I made, along with the video, so you can try them to make them at home. As you guys saw already, it's really easy to put them together. See, it's gonna be nice, a lot of color to the salad. Okay, look at that. Also got some jicama here. Let's cut a piece off. I want to peel the skin off. This is really tough. This is nice and crunchy too. It's going to give a nice balance, from the soft crab meat to the crab cakes, and then you're going to have the nice crunchiness of the salad, which is going to balance it out really nice. A little tangy, sauce. See? Let's put it in there. And it doesn't take too long, Once you get everything ready to go, your setup done, it's very quick. I'm gonna put a little radicchio here. I got some radicchio that I got. Mix it up like this. Adds a lot more color to your little nice, refreshing, crunchy salad. Look at that. See this? Nice. A little parsley leaves in there too. Some green. Look at that. It's gonna be a nice salad to go along with my crab cakes once I get them done. Look at this. And then we're gonna put a little dressing before we, plate them, so it the vegetables kind of stick together. So I want to put this to the side over here right now. Now we're gonna go ahead and cook our crab cakes. I got my saute pan over here. I'm gonna get it going. Season oil. And we gotta be careful when we cook this, because right now, like I said before, this should be, set for about half an hour in the refrigerator. But since it's been only a few minutes and we don't have a lot of time, and I didn't want to make them ahead of time, I wanted to show you guys the whole process. That's why. But again, they should work. And you just want to pan fry them. You don't want to put too much oil in the pan because otherwise it get too oily. So you just want to put enough to cover the pan, the bottom. Let's warm it up. See. So you can see the big chunks of crab in here too. There you go. And you should cook this for about 2 minutes on each side until it starts to get brown. I'll put a cover on. Because as soon as they're done, we're going to plate them. Here I got my salad I made a little while ago. I'm going to put a little dressing in here. Okay. Nice and simple. More. I believe we have another question here by one of our students.
Can you bake that, and for how long and what temperature?
Can you bake the crab cakes and for how long and at what temperature? Yeah, you can bake them. You can start them in the pan and finish them off in the oven because you want to give them a nice brown color to the crab cake. So you can start them in the pan and finish them in the oven about 400 for about 5-10 minutes. No more than that. They cook quick, like I said. So you don't want to burn them. But yeah, you can bake them too. Okay, that's it. Try to flip them over, as you can see. They start to get nice and brown. Look at that. They smell wonderful too. I'm going to put the cover on so they heat up all the way through the center. At this point, I'm going to bring my plate over here. And I got these two rings. I'm going to put some of my salad in there to put my crab cakes on top. Okay. Be careful to pack it in there. You don't have to. If you don't have these things at home, you can just put it down in the plate. It will work too. But it's going to kind of give it a little more height to your dish, for your presentation. You want to pack it down there. Look at that. See that? Going back here. Whoops. Then we have another question over here.
Can crab cakes be steamed and using gluten-free flours like rice flour smeared on them?
The question was, can crab cakes be steamed and can they use gluten-free flours like rice flour? You can to bind them together, but you can steam them too for more healthy, but you won't get a nice crusty flavor on the outside. You see a little crust in there. This gives a nice taste to the crab cakes. But if you want to steam them, you can also do that. We have another question over here.
Can you use Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise, and what dressing do you use in the salad?
The question was, can you use Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise for the crab cakes to bind them together? The answer is yes. And also, what dressing I use? I made a raspberry port wine dressing for my salad here. Okay, now I'm gonna try to plate my cakes. Hopefully these little things won't fall apart. Okay. There you go. See that? It's nice, crispy crust on the outside. Now I got here some, I made some whole grain mustard sauce. Okay, we have another question. Can crab cakes be flambé? You wanna, with some kind of liquor or whatever. If you want to do that, you can. But I mean, it's not necessarily, you don't have to. But if you want to add a different flavor, you can use some kind of wine or a brandy or something. Whatever you wanna, infuse a flavor to the crab cakes, you can. When you sauteing them, you can just, flambe it with whatever liquor you want. Okay, and we have our dish here. As you can see, it was very easy to make. I'm gonna put a little garnish on top, and then we're pretty much done here. You guys can definitely do this at home. As you can see, it's very, quick to make. There's nothing to it. Here you go. Here we have some nice homemade crab cakes that you guys, can make anytime, really. Just, you can find crab meat pretty much anywhere at the grocery store. And, the rest of the ingredients, as you can see, they're very simple. And even the process to make them is easy. Like I said, I want to also give you guys a recipe. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I would like to wrap this up and want to thank you for being here with me this morning. I'm going to see you next week again.